How are you guys? Good? All good? I will start.
Good.
हाँ जी भाई। श्लोक महला पहला। नानक मेर शरीर का एक रथ वाहो, जुग जुग फेर वटाइयै, ज्ञानी बूझे ताए। सतजुग रथ संतोख का, धर्म अगे रथ वाहो। त्रेते रग रथ जते का, जोर अगे रथ वाहो। द्वापर रथ तपे का, सत अगे रथ वाहो। कल युग रथ अगन का, कूड़ अगे रथ वाहो। So here Guru Nanak Dev Ji is talking about the four jugs, and every jug had was associated with some religious scriptures. Every yug was associated with some deity also, the Hindu deity. I don't know if you guys know about this, but if you will do some research, you will find that the the Hindu deities which we see in the temples and all, their idols and all, that nothing was mentioned like this even in the Vedas also. And Gurbani says that in these Vedas, Maharaj says, Veda mein naam uttam so sune nahi fire jo batalya. What does it mean? Maharaj says, even in Vedas, the Hindu religious scriptures, even there also the naam was uttam. But since it was controlled by the Pandits, the Brahmin caste, and they never let other people to study on its own, especially the low caste, they kept a total control on it. They started putting them in the religious rituals and all, rather than the knowledge, the gyan of the mind. ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹਰ ਯੁੱਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੇਦ ਵੀ ਲਿਖੇ ਸੀ ਗਏ ਸੀ, ਉਹ ਵੇਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਨਾਮ ਉੱਤਮ ਸੀ। ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਵੱਖੋ ਵੱਖਰੇ ਵੇਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਦੱਸ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਵੱਖੋ ਵੱਖਰੇ ਯੁਗਾਂ ਦਾ ਦੱਸ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਵੱਖੋ ਵੱਖਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹਿੰਦੂ ਦੇਵੀ ਦੇਵਤੇ ਉਹ ਯੁਗਾਂ 'ਚ ਆਏ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਦੱਸ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। So even on in those Vedas also the Naam was Uttam, and there was no idol worship, right? But slowly, because it was in control of Brahmins, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਪੰਡਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੰਟਰੋਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੀ ਕੰਮ, ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਪੜ੍ਹਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੱਤਾ। They never let other people read the Vedas, and they kept the total control. But that happened later in the yugs. But first yug, which was a Sat Yug, was very pure. Everybody used to jump naam out there. Everybody used to put a dhyan in the such in the Satyug. Here, Guru Nanak Dev Ji is saying, Nanak mer sharir ka ik rath vav. That the mind had one rath. What is a rath? Rath is like a chariot. I know. I don't know if you are from Indian background, you must have seen some shows where the chariot is there, and there is one guy who's sitting, and there are horses which is pulling the chariot, and basically they are kind of the driver for it or a charioteer for it, right? And they were driving. So Maharaj is comparing this rath with the physical body, right? See, everything out there is going to be about the mind in Gurbani, right? So don't go into the physical things. Maharaj says, in this shrir, this physical body is like a rath, right? And somebody out there inside is a charioteer, right? So, so we need to understand who are we in this, right? One is a chariot, other is a charioteer. There's a mind also, and then there is a Vaiguruji also in there. If you will think about it, and we have discussed this in the past also, when we are driving a car on a freeway, sometimes there is somebody who is coming from the back side, koi pichhon di aunda hai, and immediately we move our car. We don't even see it in in a mirror, in the back mirror. We didn't saw, but something happens inside us that immediately we move the car. Who does that? This body has Vaiguruji in it. It has a Satpurak in it. Satpurak, Satguru, right? We call it a Satpurak. Satpurak in it, and that Satguru, that Satpurak guides us all the time. Because now some people will say, okay, then why accidents happen? Because there are multiple things going on, right? When your time has to come, remember Gurbani says, Maran likhaye, mandal mein aaye. That when your time is there for the death, your death is going to happen. Nobody can change that. But other than that, if your time has not come, Satpurak will take care of you. Satpurak will take care of you. Now, don't start driving like in a bad way on a freeway, or Satpurak is going to take care of me. No, you have to use the Vivek Buddha also, right? But what I'm saying is that somebody is making sure that we are going in a right way. Somebody is protecting us. Have you guys seen those videos on the YouTube? Parkour. Have you seen those? Parkour. These are some crazy people. They are jumping from one terrace to another terrace, and one building to another building, and they're so taking so many risks out there. So who is protecting them? And there are some bad videos also of Parker. I have not seen them, or somebody told them there's some bad videos also. Once the feed came in front of me, and I saw that video, and I was like, these guys are crazy. They're jumping from one building to another building. So who is protecting them? They think that they are doing it, but no. You, when you're taking a risk, is it's just your time has not come. But if your time has come, or if you have, if you're some bad karmas are there from the previous life, you're gonna get like full body injuries and all that stuff. Maybe that is the way. So that's why always remember that we are nothing. The point here which I'm trying to make is we are nothing. Somebody is moving our body, and that something is not nobody but our Satpuru. Mind is also doing things based on two things. We think that we are doing it, but no. Either mind is controlled by Vaiguruji, or mind is controlled by the Panchduts. There's no third thing, right? And when we stop accepting the slavery of five thieves, our mind is in 100% control with Vaiguruji. So that's what here Maharaj is saying. The Nanak made Sharir ka ik rath vaho ik. It's only one, right? Jug jug fair vataiye gyani bujhe tahe. Then Maharaj says that age after age, the jug after jug, what is happening? This this is being the transfer is happening. What does this mean actually? I just want you guys to take a deep dive. Don't just go on the meaning, right? Gurmukh says that in every jug, at least once we get a chance to meet Vaheguru, to merge with Vaheguru. Some Gurmukh says that. I don't know whether it is true or not. But one thing is for sure: when we move, when the it's everything is in hands of, and jugs, as per the old traditions, they say the one jug is equal to 25,000 years. One jug is equal to 25,000 years. But again, Gurbani doesn't tell us that. So I don't know whether that's true or not. But it's a long time. But one thing is there, the transition happens when um, the improvement, or we can say improvement, or it's just a perception, when the things go crazy in the world. So if you think about when I'm saying when things go crazy, currently, if you will see, 20 years back, even when we were young, right? Somebody tell us about you can talk with someone on the video, right? You can call somebody and have a video calling and all. It was still a science fiction. Maybe say some science fiction movie was there. It was a fiction. It was not a reality. Nobody would have believed us. Okay, you can see the people. Okay, we are talking in Amritsar, and we are sitting in America, in San Francisco, and we are talking, and you can see the picture of the person, live picture while talking. Nobody would have believed in it, right? And say, oh yeah. So the technology has improved so much. So if you will now think about the stories, if you know about the stories of Ramayana and Mahabharata, where they were flying in the sky or doing certain things, and they said, oh, they had powers or something. They had a chariot in the sky going from here. They were riding on a bird or something. If you think about it, actually that was also the highest technology, or the AI, the artificial intelligence going on out there. Something was going on. Whenever we start challenging, whenever we go to such certain level in science and technology, where we try to prove that Vaheguru doesn't exist, man can do everything, I think that is the time when the change of the yug happens. That's the time when the creation is destroyed and recreated. And nobody destroys it, we ourselves destroy it. Just think about the nuclear power, the atom bombs and all, right? Something's gonna trigger between China or America or whosoever, right? And it's just a matter of just pushing one button, and the whole humanity is gonna be destroyed. All the living things are gonna be destroyed, right? Because of the improvement of technology and all that. Because we lose our senses, we become crazy. We think power is everything. Our mind gets trapped in Panchadut. Totally, our mind is becomes a slave, and we think we are better than others. America thinks the Americans are better than Chinese thinks that we are better, we are the best in the world, right? We can see about the coronavirus also, right? They are putting the fingers on each other. Why you did this? Who is now the first one to come up with a vaccine and all that stuff, right? That all crazy wars are happening, right? And when this thing will happen, I mean, but what is the difference, right? In America also there are Chinese. In America also there is Indians, right? But when you come here and you become American, it totally simply changes you. So it's like what we will say, the power corrupts. When that power is the main thing, I think that becomes a transition of the you. So I can I don't know, I can't predict anything, but it looks like that this is the time which is where the transition is very close. I don't know if it takes 50 years, 100 years, tomorrow or something, but it looks like that something is going to happen, a major thing. I think everybody of you will feel like that, right? The way the things are going right now. So that's what Maharaj is saying here. Jug jug fer vataiye, gyani bujeta hai. Only the people, they will be only able to understand that, guess that, when you will be thinking in a neutral way. Who is the gyani? Jnani is not the person who have a gyan or who have a knowledge or a wisdom. Gurbani's Jnani is the person who has a Brahm Gyan. And the Brahm Gyan is how the Brahm Gyan is when we recognize ourselves, who we are. Are we this body? Are we this soul? Or are we this mind? When we start recognizing that, then we started getting the Brahm Gyan, and it's a slow process. And your feeling will be such that you will know. That's what Mani is saying, Gyani Bujeta hai. If you are a Gyani, then you will know that these yugs will change, right? And you can see that many people feel like that, right? It's not only Sikhs. Now Maharaj is further describing what happened in the different yugs. Maharaj says, Satyug Rath Santokh Ka, Taram Age Rathwao. Satgur was in Satyug, the everything was so amazing. It was like the everybody was content. It was full of contentment. People didn't had so many desires or anxieties or worries in Satyug. So that's why Maharaj is saying Satyug Rata Santoka. Everybody had a Santok. Basically everybody was Saptoguni. You remember Dragon, right? Rajogun, Tamogun, Sattogun. Everybody was Saptoguni then. Everybody was busy in doing the worship of the one Vaheguru, formless Vaheguru. They were totally meditating. Most of their time used to spend in meditation, right? And their lifespan was also a lot. Uh, they say that in the Satyug was also had a biggest. It was like in a number of years. If we'll think about it, Satyug had a lot of years, and it was not just 25,000 years, maybe more than that. I don't know the exact number, but it was the longest juk. And because why? Because people were not crazy then. People were not fighting with each other. People were not abusing with each other. There was santokh there. People were content. They physically also and mentally also they were strong. And when you are physically and mentally strong, your age will also improve, right? Your age, as in people had 100 years, 120, 130, 140, maybe even longer than that, they lived during the Satyug. त्रेते रथ जते का जोर अगे रथवाओ. Then the jug changed, things happened. And if you will, you must have read this Shabad, right? Every day, probably you read it. हर जुग जुग भगत पाया पैज रखदा आया राम राजे हर नाखश दुष्ट हर मारया प्रहलाद तराया अहंकारियां निंदकां पिठ दे नाम देव मुख लाया जन नानक ऐसा हर सेव्या अंत ले छड़ाया. In this, Maharaj is talking about the Satyug, that during the Satyug, when Har Jug Jug Bhagat Upaya, Paj Rakhdaya Ram Raje, Har Nakhash Dusht Har Marya, Parlat Raya. Harnakash, we have probably discussed the story of Harnakash earlier also, but just in two lines. Harnakash was a king of certain area. So he started doing a bhakti. He started doing a bhakti, and but he did a bhakti for an agenda because he wanted to have a power. That was the sign that even in Satyug there was a little bit of a corruption there. He did a bhakti not to just meet Vaheguru, but to get powers. When he did a bhakti and he said to Vaheguru that I want to become somebody that I cannot be killed. I want to be Amar. Maharaj says, if you are in a human body, you have to die. You cannot be Amar. He said, okay, if you can't give me that, give me something that nobody can come and kill me from the sky or from the bottom or from the river or something. Basically, he tried to cover all his tracks that nobody can kill me, and he wanted everybody, and he got that. Maya says it's okay, what that we can do. But he thought that now nobody can kill me, nobody can come from underneath, nobody can come from the sky, nobody can come from the water or something like that, right? His son was Prahlad. What he did was that everybody in that city where Harnakash was there in Satyu, everybody in that city, he said, everybody should take my name rather than Har's name. It was like Har Jug Jug Bhagat Upaya, Paj Rakhtaya, Ram Rajesh. Nobody is going to take Ram, 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 Ram. There, the Vaiguruji was called either Har or Ram, or I think Stambar also. There were three names which people used to take: Har Har, Ram Ram, or Stambar to get Mukat, right? To get liberated. They used to chant this name, Ram, 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 Ram. But he said nobody is allowed to take these names. From today, everybody can only take the name of my name, Harnakash, because he had a lot of ego. He said, I am the God. So everybody should take Harnakash, Harnakash, Harnakash. And if somebody will not take my name, I will kill him. Guess what? What happened? Everybody got scared and all that stuff. People stopped jumping the name of the Har or the Ram or Stambar. And his son was a little kid. I don't remember the exact age, 7 years, 8 years old, little kid. When he grew up, right, his guru was, what you called, what is his name? Uh,
Narayan Virji.
No, 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 no. The guy who used to say Narayan, Narayan. What is his name? Exactly.
Oh.
Prahlad.
No, no, no. Prahlad is the son. Okay, it's okay. Prahlad is the son, but I forgot the name. Narad Muni. Narad Muni.
Narad Ji.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Narad.
Narad, yeah.
Narad was his guru was Narad, Prahlad. Narad was, he gave him the right knowledge. He said, you don't have to say the Vaiguru is Har, right? So you should say Har Har, or you should say Ram Ram. You should not say Har Nakash Har Nakash, right? And he told his dad that you are not the God. God is formless. It's Har. You are not the one. And he tried, the Harnakash was so cruel that he tried to kill his own son. But every time he tried to kill him, he tried to throw him from the mountain. He tried to torture him all the time, but he was not able to kill him because again, maran likhaye mandal mein aaye. Nobody can kill you unless your time has come, right? And at the end, uh, uh, the nursing avatar, Guruji came in a nursing avatar because he said, no human can kill me, no animal can kill me. When he did the Harnakash, did the Bhakti. and he said that, Vaiguruji, give me a boom, so that give me, my wish is that no animal can kill me, no human can kill me. So in Gurbani also it says that Vaiguruji came in the form of Narsingh Avatar. What is the Narsingh Avatar? His head was of a Singh as in the lion, and the body was of a human. And he came out from a pillar, from the thumb, from the pillar, because he said he cannot come from the sky, he cannot come from the water, he cannot come from the earth. So he came out from the pillar. He came out of the pillar. He had a sing of face and the human body, and he killed Harnakash at that point of time, right? Because Harnakash thought he cannot get killed, because everybody has the when the time comes, everybody has to die. So that is the story. So Harnakash was, why I'm telling you this story. Harnakash was a turning point of the Yug, from Satyug to the Treta Yug. And so this is such a beautiful thing. Gurbani says that Ram was being worshipped in Satyug. Who Ram? Not Ramchandra. Ram as in the formless God, the formless Vaiguru, which is Ramaya. Ramaya is who is present in everybody. Yada Ramya hunda, which is the Jyot is in everybody. So people used to worship the Ram in that Yug. And in Treta Yug, when the transition happened from Satyug to Treta Yug, in Treta Yug, the Ram came, that the Ramchandar came. That was the deity of Treta Yug. Trete Rath Jate ka, and it was also called a silver age. I don't know. That's what they say in English translation. I think there is some different ages also. Maybe Howard can give us. Have you heard about this golden age, silver age, bronze age,
I've heard
iron
about
age? Huh?
I've heard about it, but only from the Indian tradition. I haven't heard about it from Western
Oh,
anything.
really?
Mhm.
Now they say that this is Aquarian age is coming. I don't know what that Aquarian
Oh
age
yeah,
is.
I don't know what that is either. That's I don't know that stuff.
Yeah, I've heard these basically these translations are done by the what you call the Harbhajan Singh Yogi Sikhs. So I think this was taught by Harbhajan Singh Yogi about these ages, silver age, brass. I don't know how true is that, because there is nothing called silver age. If you will read this, Trete Rath Jate Ka Jor Age Rathwao, there is nothing called iron age here, right? It's a Treta Yug. That's what I know. It was called Treta Yug. But anyway, the it was of the that Yug, if you will think, it was of the power, where the warriors were there. That's why if you will read the Ramayana, the Ram was kind of a, they considered him a warrior, a very good warrior, Ram and Lakshman. Yeah, right. I think it was Ram and I don't know who. I think the Savambar used to happen. Somebody can actually help me. I've forgotten all those stories. Savambar was the tradition in India, where the girl used to choose a guy. So there will be like 10 guys standing in front of them, and they have to compete to win over a girl. So they used to have one competition out there, and if anybody who will win that competition, they will basically become eligible to marry that girl. And in that royal traditions, that's what used to happen. And so Sita, who was a wife of Ram, I don't know, there was some competition where Ram won. He showed his power out there, and he won that tradition. That's why it says that the Yug, Treta Yug, was about the warriors. So basically, if you will think about, with the Pagti, soldier traditions also came in the Treta Yug. Maybe that's the reason, but it is, I don't know why it is still called the Silver Age. I can't tell you that. But it's nothing in Gurdwani, it says a Silver Age. But Treta Yug, some corruption use was coming. And if you remember in our previous discussion, if you will see a chair with the four legs, they say that corruption was coming in and one leg was broken. There were three legs of the chair, right? What does that mean? that you can still sit by balancing in the chair on the three legs, but there was still some corrupt people out there. And now we know the story also of Ram and Ravana. If you have not, just read the stories. You don't have to, but if you want, if you're interested, Ram, I will give you some highlight, some summary of that. Ram was a king. His father's name was Dashrath, and he was a very he used to do bhakti, and he was a warrior also, and he was a nice guy. But his stepmother wanted her son to become a king rather than Ram. So for whatever reason, whatever played in, he was sent to exile for 14 years in the jungle with his wife and a younger brother. Once when he got married with Sita, his wife and a younger brother Lakshman, both of them, they went to exile. And that's where in the jungle, somebody kidnapped, not somebody, Ravana kidnapped his wife, and they had a big war. That's where the Sri Lanka is right now. Ravan was from Sri Lanka. It was used to call a Lanka then. And basically, because he kidnapped his wife, there was a war and all that stuff happened. So that was happening in Treta Yuga. So I'm just giving you a high level summary of a story. So the corruption was there, the kidnappings thing, these things started coming in, and people were becoming less and less religious. Then, because of, they say, because of that war which happened between Rama and Ravana, that was a highest point of a change of a yuga, from Treta to Dwapar, because the corruption went very high. So in Dwapar, if you have heard about another deity called Krishna, Krishna came in Dwapar. Dwapar Rath Tapeka Sat Age Rath Wow. Now, in Dwapar age, what was happening was that people were, they understood because they saw, they heard the stories of Harnakash, they heard the stories of Rama. So what they started doing was they started going into the jungles, in the hills and all, in the mountains, and that they started not marrying the ladies. They never used to get into the marriage and all that stuff, and they started doing the bhakti all the time. And they said, this is the way how we can meet Vaheguru, right? So but we know the highest turning point of that yuga was Krishna. Basically, if you ever heard about the story of Mahabharata, where the Kauravas and Pandavas were there, I'm not going to go in details, otherwise we can spend like so many lectures in these stories. Kauravas and Pandavas were there, and they had a big fight. They were brothers, literally they were brothers, but they had a war, and that war, they said that the war was instigated through Krishna and whatever it is, right? But that was a turning point of that yuga. And they say in Dwapar, there are two legs of the chair, right? Just think about it. The chair is there, now two legs are left. The corruption, 50% corruption, 50% nice people, right? And they were still able to balance it out or whatever, right? But the point is, Maharaj is saying right now we are in Kaljug. Kaljug Rath Aganka, right? Ocean of fire, where the corruption is more. Aganka, Kud Agerathvao. Everybody is lying. Everybody wants to do their job by doing dishonesty. Or you can say most of the people. Majority of the people wants to do their work done through Kud. And what happens when this kind of atmosphere is there? The corruption is so high in the minds of the people that there is no respect left. There is no honesty left. And that's what I was telling you. Right now, the way the technology is being improved and people are using this technology for doing wrong things. Some are using it for the right things, some are using it for the bad things. But most of the things, if you will look around, there is no peace left. Everybody's mind is full of thoughts, rajogun, tamogun, satogun thoughts. People are worried about things. People are in pain, people have diseases. We are going through, all these pandemics which we hear about, the plague and all, which when it started, right? And we all hear it happening in Kal Yuga, right? So Kal Yuga has a lot of bad things which is happening. But guess what? Guru Nanak Dev Ji was the avatar of Kal Yuga, or is the avatar of the Kal Yuga, and Guru Nanak Dev Ji made it simple. In Satyug, people used to do most of their time spending the bhakti. So they were doing 10 hours, 12 hours, 16 hours a day of bhakti. In Treta Yug, people were still doing it for 7 hours, 8 hours, or whatever. In Dwapar, it got reduced and the corruption kept on going high. But in Kal Yug, Maharaj says, even if you will do the bhakti for 1/10 of your time, this is the swan which we talk about. 1/10 of the time you will dedicate your time to the bhakti, the prema bhakti, the path of love. You will follow the path of the love. You will be saved. You will be saved from this ocean of fire. The Panch Doots will not be able to touch you. Even bare minimum 2.5 hours of bhakti you will do. Howard, do you have a question?
Oh,
All right.
this is me, Vaheguruji, Sarah.
Hanji, Hanji, Hanji.
So I didn't have a question. I was saying that if you are interested, I wrote down the age of each yoga, like
Really?
Satyug.
Go ahead, share it.
So Satyug, so there's a ratio of 4 to 3 to 1. Like Kaljug is like 1 time, and then Dwapar twice, Treta 3 times, and Satyug is like 4 times. So Satyug was 1.7 million years span, and Treta was 1.3 million years, and Dwapar was 864,000 years, and Kal Yuga was 432,000 years.
Yeah, so are you getting these numbers from Professor Saib Singh Steek or somewhere?
So I don't remember when obviously I was reading
I think
something
I know.
else.
If we'll change this, yeah. I literally I don't want to. I mean, you are absolutely right. These numbers are mentioned somewhere, but I don't see the logic to that. You know, Penji, what I'm saying? I don't know
No,
from where.
I know. Yeah,
Yeah. No, but that's good.
yeah,
That's good. But that's good. You're sharing it. I think if we'll change it to Professor Saib Singh Steek, I think these are the same numbers you're talking about, Penji,
yes.
right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but this is the problem I have. I mean, I think a lot of people have this problem. I don't know from where these people pull up the numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't see, because in the Gurbani there's nothing written about these numbers.
Yeah.
But people say that these numbers are there. So I try to kind of avoid all the time these things when I'm not convinced in the heart and the inside. Vaheguruji is telling me that this is not good. I normally, but yes, you are right. Some people says that every yug was around 25,000 years, but some people have given this ratio of the numbers also. But one thing is for sure, and let's talk logically. We are gonna not going to go with the mythological theories and all that stuff. We believe in Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Penji, thank you for actually telling us that. But think about this. Yeah, think about this. If we know all the diseases which are there, especially when we are talking about anxiety, depression, high blood pressure, insomnia, all these diseases are there because we have too many thoughts. Agreed? Right? Doctors also say now, if you are worried and you are anxious, you are going to have a high blood pressure, right? If you are getting very angry, you probably high blood pressure. If you are not able to sleep in the night, again you have too many thoughts in your head. When our system will be, shaken, if we're not getting a proper sleep, if we are always thinking something, it is going to impact us. The diseases are going to come. And you are absolutely right from that logical perspective. If you will think, in Satyug, people used to do a lot of bhakti. They used to have less thoughts. And Gurbani says here, Satyug Rath Santokh Kha. There was a Santokh, they were content. There were not many thoughts out there. The span of the yug was also bigger, and the lifespan of the person, even ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਉਮਰ ਸੀਗੀ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਸੀਗੀ ਤੇ ਸਤਜੁਗ ਵੀ ਕਾਫੀ ਵੱਡਾ ਸੀ। ਟਾਈਮ ਸਤਜੁਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਉਮਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੀ ਸੀ। ਕਿਉਂ? Why was that their age was more? Because they were content.
Guruji, I wanted to share something here.
Yeah.
So in Bhai Gurdas Ji's Bani, it says that ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ age ਸੀਗੀ ਉਹ ਲੱਖ ਵਰਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਸੀ. So it was harder for them to, they did bhakti, but it was harder for them to reach. Now that Kali Yuga is strong, is that why it's said that it's easier for us to meet Waheguru, even though there's so many distractions?
It is easier because of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Guru Nanak Dev Ji brought a naam. Maharaj says, Nanak ke kar keval naam. That the only thing is there. And Maharaj is saying, give the daswand of your breath. Whatever daswand, let's say if there are 24 hours, at least 3 hours here and there, right? And if you are spending 3 hours dedicated to Bhagati, right? Trying to do, and doesn't have to be 3 hours at a stretch. You can have 1.5 hour in the morning, 1.5 hour in the evening, or whatever works for you. But my personal experience, I know I'm diverting a little bit. My personal experience is maximum time you can spend is during the night time or the Amrit Vela. Start whenever it works for your body. Get a proper sleep for 6 hours. Wake up in the morning and at least spend couple of hours, right? Do your Simran first and then read the Bani. If you can't read the 5 Banis, at least read the Japji Sahib in the morning, like minimum, bare minimum. So when you will have that kind of a lifestyle, and when we will eat again the lighter food or something, what will happen? Our interest in bhakti will be more. Our mind will be less distracted. The distractions are more in Kali Yuga. You are absolutely right, Penji. And that's the reason why everybody is worried, because every day in the morning, when we get up, we have this thing going on in our head: how I am going to pay my mortgage, how I'm going to pay my bills. If not, if you don't have that, if you have a lot of money, then you have a tension: where I'm going to keep my money, where I'm going to invest my money, how can I gain more. Like, our mind is continuously busy because our mind think that it is a body, and that is the reason the lifespan of a person is reducing, right? It was actually, if you will think about it, Kali Yuga always had a less years, right? Even if you will think about, people never used to live longer. Actually, now people have again started living longer because of the medical science, to be honest. I used to think other way out, right? That people, but if you will think about it, the lifespan of people has changed. Actually, they have started living 5-10 years longer now, but that is because of the medical science. If I'm talking about worldly, but Gurbani doesn't agree with that. Gurbani says, Maran likhaye mandal mein aaye, that everybody's death is set since when they come here. So it's a very complex kind of stuff. But anyway, if we will dedicate 3 hours, not to confuse you guys, if we will spend at least 3 hours every day, not without a miss, there are very high chances that our mind will start come in Satyug. Although this is a Kali Yuga, we will create a Satyug. What is Satyug? Everybody is doing Sangat. If we spend time in Sangat, if we spend time in Bhakti, Kali Yuga becomes a Satyug. Does it make sense, Jaspanji?
Hanji Waheguru
Hanji.
Thank you.
So we have to make, Maharaj is giving us the indication that what was happening in Satyug, why people had long lives and they were content. Why they were content? Because their desires were not there. Why they didn't have the desires? Because the bhakti was there, honesty was there, lies and deceit was not there, cheating was not there. Now the cheating is so rampant that you never know the person you are calling your friend or a husband or whosoever, or they're going to ditch you. You never know. This is Kali Yuga, right? That's why in Kali Yuga, even if we spend a daswand, 1/10 of our breath, and we dedicated in the Charan Kamal of Vaheguru, in the Bhakti, in spirituality, right, in honesty, trust me, we will have no problems. Kal Yug Rath Agan Ka Kood Agerath. Wow. Maharaj says that Kal Yug, there's only deceits and lies and cheatings. And I don't know if we have time to go next Shabad.
You know what you're saying, what you've told us about Simran is that you're supposed to try to do it all the time. And if you think about it, that would bring you down to basically one thought and some other simple ones, because you had talked about how the suffering comes from all these thoughts that we have. And so if you think about it, Simran is something that really takes a lot of those multiple thoughts away from us and concentrates it into one thought.
One thought, yes.
So,
Absolutely. And if you have only one thought or zero thoughts after that, then obviously you are not going to have anxiety, or you're not going to get angry, and you're going to be content and peaceful. Yeah,
but
absolutely.
that is something we're supposed to do. Try to do Simran at all times. Is that right?
All the time, but when I'm saying 3 hours, 3 hours is straight as in you divide it in three parts, that's fine. But whenever you're sitting, you are 100% there. See, 24 hours, what I mean is when you're walking, when you're eating, always remember Vaheguru. But then you are doing two things then, right? 50% you are concentrating on your, let's say, your food or your work, and 50% you're concentrating on Vaheguru or doing the Simran, right? But when I'm talking about 3 hours, 3 hours is dedicated 100% doing the Simran. Does it make sense, Howard?
Yeah, that makes complete
Yeah.
sense.
All right.
You can quote Karam Taram Tum Dome Chu.
Haji,
That-
Haji.
So
Yes.
you can
Yes. Taram taram tum chopad sadhu, है ना? That is the make a balance of the karam and taram. Karam is as in the actions or the work which we do. Let's say in 24 hours we are spending 8 to 12 hours in work and all other things. So Mara is saying, yeah, let's at least spend 8 hours for sleep, 8 hours for karam, and at least spend 8 hours of taram. Yeah, at least. But again, this is good if you want to achieve your goals, if you want to meet Vaheguru. But what happens is, Vaheguru, you have to understand one thing. Sarpreet Singh, this is for you also, right? When we start, right, we need to start with 5 minutes, as you know, right? 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Once you will start going in soon, thank you actually for bringing this topic, Sarpreet Singh Pari. uh, when you start getting into the sun time, it is very fast. Trust me. You will close your eyes, and when you will open your eyes, if you are going in sun, if you're not sleeping, there's a lot of confusion. People think that we are in sun, and mostly people are sleeping. telling you right now. There's a lot of confusion. So you have to make sure that you are in sun. We have discussed that, the signs and how you can make sure whether you are in sun or not. So that's a separate topic. But having said that, if you understand that you are in sun, that time will go very fast. You'll close your eyes, 3-4 hours will happen like that. That's the best thing you can do. And in that case, when the Karam Taram balances, that is the time. Sarpreet Singh ji, even when you're sleeping, right? When you're sleeping, you concentrate on the Shabad, you go in the sun. So that's what Maharaj says, that the Gurmukhs, they never sleep, because their mind is awake all the time. We have to wake up our mind all the time, right? Once we get into that stage, then it will be very difficult to do 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours of bhakti, because that the bhakti will start when you are in sun. But for the starters and all, try to reach to the 3 hours mark. And I'm talking about the 3 hours mark of at least doing a Sas Gras Simran, at least for 3 hours doing a Sas Gras Simran, so that you can kill your thoughts. Once you will start killing your thoughts, when will you go in soon, the time it will increase. Your bhakti will increase, the time you spend in sun will increase. The more Sas Gras Simran you will do. If you will do less Sas Gras Simran, you will not be able to sit in sun for the long time. That is for sure. Because then your why is that? Because if your thoughts are more, when you will go in sun, some thought will come and you will come out of the sun. You will sink in the Pav Sagar. Because five thieves will give you a dream, and in the dream you will be away from Vaheguruji. Hanji Sarpreet Singh ji, you were gonna add something.
Thank you, Vaheguru. I was saying thank you to you.
No, it's okay. So it's like, yeah, we have to reach to 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, but that is not just japana. Waheguru, Waheguru. It's not like that. You can jump for a limit, right? I mean, with 8 hours japna is tough. If you can do it, that's good. But trust me, if you will do 2 hours, 2.5 hours of japna, and if you are doing it with the jukti given by Guru Nanak Dev Ji, gaviye, suniye, man rakhiye pao, listening to your own voice, you will go in soon for sure after 2.5 hours. Try it. If you have not tried it yet, try it. Do it. Listen to your own voice for 2.5 hours. You will be gone in soon, very fast. After, I will say, 1.5 hour or maybe 2 hours, you will be in the zone, depending upon how much thoughts you have. I don't know what's going on in your personal life, right? If in your personal life there's a lot of things going on, it will take you more time. If there are less thoughts, then it will take you less time to go into the zone. But more saskara simran we will do, more time we can spend in zone, in samadhi. Okay, ji. Any other questions, Vaiguru? We'll continue next Saturday with the next Shabad, but we'll do Simran now. Any questions?
So man rakhe bhav means like we have to have like a feeling like man rakhe bhav, right? So I will listen, and then also we have to have a feeling about the like feeling about Vaheguru, right?
Pao is pyar, love.
Pyar, okay.
Yeah, pao is love, right? Pao, ਦੋ words ਹੈਗੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਾ, ਮਤਲਬ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਨਾ, we read ਨਿਰਭਉ. Pao is fear. Nirpau, without fear. Pao is love. So Maharaj is saying, when you chant, when you sing, the only thought you should have is the love. That's why we were talking about listening to the kirtan, right? Make yourself drenched in love, right? If the love is not there, because love is something which is the most difficult thing which comes. That's why you listen to the kirtan, you listen to the Gurbani, you fill your mind with the love, right? With the barag. What is the barag? Barag is that, oh, I am disconnected from Vaheguru, right? I want to connect with Vaheguru, with love, right? So that is the thing. So we have to fill our mind with the love. That's the only thought which we need to have. Vaheguru, Vaheguru, and love will come. Do the das benti, right? Love will come.
And Virji, and also like let's say like we merge with Vaheguru, and in the Parlok also the same thing happens, right? The Sangat and like what happens in the Satyug, like Bhakti, right? The same thing happens in the Parlok also, right?
I am not equipped to tell you what happens there.
Okay.
Chika? The only thing what I know is that it is total bliss. 100% bliss, no pain. I can't tell you, I mean, I can tell you from the Gurbani, but nothing my personal experience, what happens there when you go there. It's not my personal experience, and I would like not to talk about it.
Okay.
But the only thing what I know is that you will be in total bliss. You'll be merged with Vaheguru, you'll be in total bliss. The idea you can get it is, if you have started going to the sun, when you come out of it, right, you don't feel like talking with anybody. You are in an anand. You're just simply, your body is in peace, right? So that is the indication that maybe the highest point of that version will be there when you will be totally merged with Vaheguru. I'm not merged with Vaheguru or anything, so I'm not equipped to tell you that.
Got it. Thank you.
ठीक है Vaheguru? Chalo ji, aao ji, let's do Simran Vaheguru. When we do Saskara Simran, when we do Wah, we listen to our own voice. When we say Guru, we listen to our own voice with love. Aao ji, start kariye. Wah, Guru, 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 Wah, Guru.